What's up, guys? Got the 94 Fleetwood in the shop. Thought I'd go over our million-point inspection that we go through to narrow down what needs to happen to a vehicle when it comes in. We got in somewhere around 4 or 5 yesterday, and first thing we did was bring it in the shop and throw everything on the chargers, because generally speaking, no matter if the customer has already charged their batteries or not, I always like to go behind them and make 100% sure that everything is done the way that I feel that it should be done. So bring it in the shop, throw it on the charger immediately, and pretty much let it sit overnight. Now, I also go so far as to lift the car all the way so that it's sitting nice and high and see what I come out to the next day. So see if it drops a little bit, and then start diagnosing, where the problems are coming. So after that, I go through the process of yanking everything out pretty much, and starting fresh, starting to look for frayed wires, looking for just really anything that is off, basically. But I'll go so far as to start from the very front and work my way back. I want to look at the cylinders. Are they leaking? What kind they have? What size hoses they have? Are the uppers and lowers, have they been reinforced? Is the reinforcement around the ears and everything done? Just things that I want to know whether or not it's been done. Then I'll go and throw it up on the lift and start checking everything on the underside of it. So just to kind of check and see, is there a bridge? Has the arches been reinforced? How do the trailing arms look? How are the bushings looking? Just everything that could be, wrong with a hydraulic car. We start going into it and finding out what's what. Has the rear end been reinforced? How do the welds look? Just literally everything. But then, obviously, like with this setup, I see a lot of problems. So what I'm going to do is yank everything out and pretty much start over. Not really to put new equipment or anything, but take the customer's existing stuff and literally put it back in the way that it's supposed to be in, making sure that solenoids are mounted to bare metal, making sure pumps are mounted to bare metal, making sure all those cables, lines, everything, nothing is a bad connection. There's no issues pretty much anywhere. So even so far as to taking apart the entire pumps, all the way down to the pump heads, all the way down to the seals, just to take a look and make sure that everything is the way that it should be, swapping out fluids and so on and so forth. So this is not a quick process. We spend probably our first day just figuring out, what it needs to work properly, but in addition to that, things that probably should be done. So like reinforcements are a lot of times, those are the last things that people do, unfortunately. So we're going to check this one out and find out what it's got. So to start, we've got your, it is a 3-pump, 6-battery setup, and it's not performing very well, but I think I figured out why. Last night when we put the chargers on, we got one particular battery, and it's the battery number 4. It is pretty much bad. It's either got a dead cell or something like that. Every other battery in this has got perfect voltage and everything like that. So here's one of the first problems that I see. You got standard cylinders, but you've got 1/2-inch lines leading to the back. Now that doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but when you've got your lines coming off of the front pump, you've got a 3/8 line right here, and then it splits off into 2 1/2-inch, which basically is a whole lot of volume, but losing a ton of pressure because of it. So the front is not performing very well whatsoever. In addition to that, the Y block that is on here, which I'm sure if any of you guys have ever had a Y block that is like this particular setup, where you've got a check valve right in here. The problem is that when you have this and you drive it around and the front is not locked up at all times, well, you're going to notice when you go around a turn that the car is going to go like this or like this, because it has to be locked out in the front in order for it to keep the 2 cylinders lifted. So I'm not a fan of how this is done at all. I don't know if we're going to change it around, but We're definitely going to, at the very least, changing the hoses would help in this situation, but we're going to probably do some more work to it. So now we've got the car up on a lift and we're taking a look at everything that's got going on. So it's got some nice uppers, but the lowers look like they were done kind of. They were reinforced, kind of jagged, but then we got, looks like we've got 2-ton pre-cuts, no reinforcement around the ears. Yeah, and none on there, nothing with the belly. Okay, so that kind of tells us where we're at with that.
All joints have seen better days.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see, what else? Hell, those spindles are not, I mean, they're chrome. I bet you they could be cleaned up to look pretty good. I don't see anything bad that's happened, at least not yet. All right, we'll go around here to the underside. Now here's where we did see some problems. The rear end has been reinforced by someone. Got some chain mounts. Now here's where we got a problem, which, let me grab a light.
I know I got a light somewhere.
All right, got my light. All right, so I don't know if you can see it very well, but so this spring perch right in here looks like it's tearing and making its way through to the rear deck. So that's a definite something that's got to be done. I'm not really sure what the welding right there on the inside of the frame is all about. Is it on the other side? No. Yeah, got something over there. Not really sure what. Where that hose is going through at probably isn't the safest place for it to go through. But we've got stock uppers and lower trailing arms, which he did provide, so we're gonna swap those out. But yeah, it looks like it's gonna need a bridge here very soon. As far as reinforcements, we don't have any on the arches, so we're gonna probably end up doing that. Okay, so this kind of gives us an idea on everything, and it also mentioned, of course, for those Cadillac owners, they know that the running 13x7s on these things don't work very well because the rim will hit the inside of the skirt. And there's only a couple of solutions to this problem. One is running 13x6 or 13x5.5. And then the other option is to run like a G-body rear end, and that will, you know, you can always do it that way. So, all right, we're gonna let her down and start ripping her apart. It's always good to have a point of reference when working on a vehicle, and point of reference is here with my companion. All right, so now that we've got the full list of items that we want to do to the car, I've already made the order for all the necessary parts to get everything done, and they will be getting delivered here within the next probably 48 hours to a week. And while I'm waiting on all that stuff, like I said, we're going to blow it all apart and take out everything and go through everything. But in addition to that, while I'm waiting on all those other parts, get all the reinforcements and everything like that done, and go ahead and build the bridge and get it all put together. So make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to be posting daily of the progress that goes on with it and everything that we get done. And it is going to be a detailed description and everything that was actually done to it. I don't gatekeep on here, so anything that gets done, I'm going to post it. You can see how it's done, and then maybe it'll help you out in the future. So make sure that you subscribe below.